it's a very open culture to the gospel, because they will essentially not turn away the word of God. So if you show up and if they hate Mormons, then they'll keep their mouth closed and they'll invite you in and be like, all right, yep, let's have a lesson. I mean, they're not doing anything else. It's kind of a lazy island feel all over there, but you can get into about anywhere and you can teach lessons all day long to people who aren't interested. So you have to be more, I guess, you have to be more picky. I don't know if that's the best word to use. You have to specify a little bit closer who is actually interested and who is just letting you in because you're white missionaries who can speak Pohnpei and you're preaching them the word of God, which they may or may not listen to. I mean, I've had full-on lessons where the person's right there the whole time, just nodding their head like, yeah, totally. You'll get through the Joseph Smith story. You're like, all right, so this is why we have the gospel and we have the fullness of the priesthood and all that. And they're like, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. That's amazing. And you're like, all right, so if this is true, we'd like to invite you to be baptized. Like, whoa. Now I don't know if that's true. I mean, you can get through the whole thing and they don't make those connections as fast. You kind of have to work them into it, and be very, very clear and very forward about the way you present the gospel, because they'll just nod and smile their way through a whole lesson without really grasping what you're telling them. But they're very open. You can get into about any house you want to. And because you're missionaries, they will treat you respectfully. Like those language levels I was talking about, you'll frequently have people speaking honorifically to you and humiliatively about themselves. And in turn, you'll want to speak honorifically to them and humiliatively about yourself. And I mean, they're very culture-based that way. I've walked into to one situation where they're having a big feast. They love feasts. They dig feasts out there. We didn't even know what it was for. We just had an appointment with this guy. They don't keep really close track of their appointments either. You might want to watch that. But we walked into this feast basically, and we were just kind of going to say, hey, maybe we'll come back later. Looks like you're busy. But they dragged us in and pulled us up to the front and gave us like the high seats of honor, and they brought us our food. And I mean, they stopped everything that was going on and said, all right, in our feast, now we're going to have the word of God. And they just turned it over to us. I mean, there are tons of people there. We had no idea like what their backgrounds were. And we just stood up and gave a quick 15, 20-minute lesson, and that's just kind of the way they are. Very respectful, very, very open, very welcoming. Even if they don't like you, they won't tell you they don't like you. I mean, you can usually guess it from the way they act around you, but they're still very open and they're still very, very welcoming as far as the culture goes. So I loved it there. Absolutely loved it. I mean, many people I got to be very close to. They're just friendly. They love to see that you're trying to learn their language.